So I kind of want to make this video about ENFJs and art and why I admire the shit out of Bjork, as the title said. I was watching an interview with Bjork on Charlie Rose, which was kind of awesome because she rarely gives interviews, and this was from a long time ago though, decades ago even. I think it might have been like the late 90s or something, or early 2000s. But he would asked her basically like, why do you feel like music is such a powerful tool for you? And she was saying that sometimes she's not so good at communicating, and that she sucks with talking about how she feels because she felt like when she was talking with people sometimes that it was like trying to fit the ocean through a straw, is what she said. And I thought this was really interesting, and that's why she said that she loves music so much, was because there was no words, and she just found words really limiting to express what she was trying to convey. And I don't know what type Bjork is. I would guess that she's maybe an INFJ. That's kind of like the energy she gives off. Definitely an I something. An INF. No, I don't think she's an INFP. I really do think she's an INFJ probably. But anyways, when I was younger, I remember thinking like, oh, Bjork is such a fucking weirdo. Like, what the fuck is her music? And I even like, she's just trying to be so avant-garde and like trying to be edgy. And that was like, so I look back and I'm just like, that was so stupid and silly of me to even think that, because I mean, I just didn't understand at the time, in my, teens especially, what was going on and what she was like trying to convey. And now that I'm like older, it's just insane because she's one of my like favorite artists. I don't listen to her like a ton actually, but I'm always stunned. She just has like an amazing catalog of work, and her library of albums is just fucking gorgeous and stunning and beautiful and all of the other superlatives. And it's really like, now that I can see what she was trying to say in that interview, is that like music allows her to give structure to an interior world that she has like a really hard time expressing. And in German there's that, I'm gonna say it wrong, but in German there's a term called Durn und Strang, I think, and it's like the storm and the stress. And it's kind of like the crashing emotions and the epic, emotions of things. And that's like what listening to Bjork's music is very much like. It's like you're on the ocean and the waves are just like crashing your boat about, and you're just like rolling and pitching and all over the place, and it's exhilarating, and the sea spray is like hitting you in the face, and you're kind of blinded, and you're so excited, and it's kind of scary also, and you don't know what's gonna happen. And I love that sense of that you can get from music. But the reason I kind of brought her up was because I think that the reason I admire her so much, I think so many people love her, is it's very hard to make art, honestly. Like, and it's funny because in the United States, I feel like our culture, we devalue artists in a way, or we kind of like mock them because we don't see, like, it's not the same thing as like a lawyer or a doctor, where it's like a civil service or something like that you can like immediately quantify and measure and objectively be like, okay, A plus B equals C, this is the the service that you get, bitch. but I think at the same time, like, we really pay, it's weird because we pay artists, like, very well in as far as like the upper tiers of our media are concerned, but then it's really funny because as soon as I'm thinking of like someone, you know, like the Dixie Chicks even, who like people love their music and they'll pay a lot of money to go see her and shit, but the second they come out with a political view or get involved with something that is quasi-serious, or actually directly related to everyday lives, it's like, fuck you, you have no right to speak on that, and get back into your realm, and just make music or whatever. And I think that's just really interesting, because it's like even when you are valued, like, you're only valued within that medium, and you can't actually, like, stray outside of it, or you'll be mocked or ridiculed or harassed or abused or criticized, you know, or whatever. And you know, it's really interesting to have things like edutainment. Like, I think Michael Moore, his work is very much falls into that line where it's meant to entertain, but it's also, more importantly, the underscore is meant to, like, inform people, and he tries to use the platform of emotions, triggering you emotionally, to, like, illustrate and underscore facts. And that's really interesting, that kind of, like, juxtaposition and tension that can happen from that. But I just would love to hear from, like, other ENFJs how they feel about structuring their art, or art in general, because I really understand what Bjork is saying when she says, like, she's trying to channel an ocean through a straw, because you can feel very much like there's just this intensity of emotion, and you don't know how to have the structure to, like, bring it forth in a cohesive, fully formed, and beautiful and potent way, you know? And that's why I admire the shit out of Bjork, because her music is amazing, duh, but also because she's able to really do such a stunning job of illustrating that interior. And, you know, same with Tori Amos, or, you know, some other artists, but I find that very, you know, like, very interesting, because I was also watching this Ethan Hawke interview last night, who I love listening to him speak. He's just so eloquent and has, like, a really erudite but, like, very simple way of relating to people, and I love that. And he was just talking about, like, the myth of, like, the magic and the art in art, and how a lot of it comes down to, like, you know, working and the work and repetition and practice, and not being too precious. And it's funny because I felt like I kind of got the same vibe from Bjork in her interviews, that she, like, there's a lot of, like, day in, day out slog sometimes that happens with that, which is very different than, I think, the Western model sometimes of viewing art, which is that it's like something like Athena, and it just sprouts fucking, just fully formed, just jumps out of the head of Zeus, and, you know, there it is, and it's a magical thing. And I don't really think that is always a healthy representation, yet it's something I even find myself falling into the trap of believing. So I'd love to hear from people who, you know, do art or shit like that, about how they find the process of, like, creating, and the difficulty in, like, having this structure and having this interior swell, like this ocean, I say in one of my other videos, this ocean of emotion, and then making it fucking something that's actually, like, fully realized in a in a cohesive, stable, understandable, like powerful relayance, you know, how they find that process, because it's not easy, and I think that's what makes art hard. It's translating that into the actual, you know, 3D-ish. So anyways, thanks for listening. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts. I'll talk to you later. Peace!